Good evening to you peeps, Lee's Lyric again, and finally we are here to bring you Bits Between the Bits for, yeah, hurrah, I hear you cry. But seriously, yeah, glad to be here again, and this will probably be the last time I post for a couple of days, because I've got a few things you're going to see that we'll be continuing with on here. So leading straight on really, I had a pretty good week actually when it came to tatting or picking up free bits and pieces. If you look behind me, if you're wondering why I'm leaning, these two pieces here I actually got from the lumberyard and they were put in the charity bin, so a small donation. I've got some offcuts knocking around which basically I bought some really long lengths and they weren't quite long enough for like what I wanted on other projects, so I stored those. I went out and about and I got a couple of these which are like quite thick. And these are planks out of like a futon bed, or like cots, you know, like where they slatted in. And it's pretty good wood, it's hardwood, and it's pretty strong. And so bringing that all together, also over a certain amount of time, I've accumulated a whole bunch of these. And so yes, I'm sure you've guessed it, we'll be pretty shortly anyway starting on a license plate guitar, because they are awesome, as I said in a previous post. And I've been watching videos on how to build those, sort of planning on how I might do mine. I've got two bits of this, so I'm planning on using this to make the body of the instrument. Obviously it's too large really to fit onto a cigar box, so we'll be building this one from scratch, no less. And I went through all my plates and I decided basically on this one. And there we go. This is my oldest plate, and I don't know if that's the year, but it's quite an old plate by the looks of it. I've had this the longest. Actually, it was a piece of wall art in my front room here for the longest time. But I just love the number on this as well for some reason. I don't know if that's coming through to you backwards or not. It says beautiful at the top and beautiful British Columbia. And beautiful this plate is. So now it's going to become a musical instrument with a front which would be very much like a dobro or something like that, or a resonator, because as you can see it's kind of pressed plate. And I do believe this will sound awesome because I've heard plenty of them on the internet. Now I'm not saying mine's going to sound as good as all that, but I thought it's definitely time I'm going to take the plunge. So I'll use this one. It's the flattest one I've got as well. It came to me in lovely condition. I think over the time I did sort of manage to slightly bend one corner on this when it came off the wall for some reason. I can't remember why. But it is basically flat, and that's what we want. So we'll be commencing with that probably sometime next week, and that's that one. Can't wait, really looking forward to this one. Moving swiftly on, you will remember some time ago we did have a viewer suggestion build, and that was Susie. And if you saw it in the comments, she made a very good suggestion. That's all a bit of a surprise due to the nature of the suggestion, so I'm not going to say any more unless you've read it in the comments. But I'm going to show you what we're going to do, because also this is quite a good idea for quite a simple guitar, especially if you're just getting started. I did one of these years ago, but I only ever did one, and I think it's what's commonly known as a board over box guitar. So we have this vintage Dutch cigar box. It is actually cardboard. I can't really show you too much inside because there's things in there I don't want to give away. But rather than slot the neck through the body, this is actually going to like clamp on top. Whoops, that's surprise number 3. The kid in the game away. And you'll notice that this piece of wood's right thick. What I thought I'd do was overlay with this thin bit, and then actually have a thicker piece here, because that's going to bolt onto the top. And then basically you can string the instrument and everything, and you can still open it without having to take the strings off, which is pretty cool. they do make quite an awesome sound. They're quite easy to make as well, and they're quite quick to make. But what I want to do with this one is probably drill some sort of like sound holes in here, so they've got a bit of extra kind of sound coming out the front of there, and see how we go with that one. I think it'll also go in line with this rather elegant box, and again, due to the nature of the suggestion and the person who suggested it, this needs to be elegant as well. So yeah, not really spoken about this one for a while, and it's been hidden away like the Kanjo was. But we'll be moving on to this one very soon, and I'm quite excited to see actually what sort of ideas we may come up with. One or two surprises, I'm sure. So that's that one there really, and I thought I'd keep it to like 2 or 3 for this particular bits between the bits, because I didn't want to kind of overplay it all, you know. But last should I say, but by no means least, many of you will remember Dave, or Dave II, because he was actually based on the first guitar that I ever built. And a lot of people did sort of wonder and were very curious. Well, I named the original one Dave. And you know, there are all kinds of theories, like mainly based around it's named after a particular guitarist or something. Like, you know, it could be like Dave Gilmour, for instance, or something like that. But no, the simple answer is it wasn't half as sophisticated as that. When I built the original one, it was a 23-inch scale length, and the bridge was right down here. It was a smaller box than this, and it was a decorator box that I used because I didn't have a cigar box then. I had a much plainer headstock, bolt on. But really, it was the fact that I couldn't believe what mighty a sound, so what a mighty sound came out of the original when it's only about this big. So really, it's based on David and Goliath, and that's why it became affectionately known as Dave. This is Dave 2, and if you've seen the previous video, it's kind of all explained in there why, and I couldn't resist putting a pickup in this one. I actually took this one to a guitar club, and it went down a storm. You know, I did make a joke on one of the earlier videos about, imagine turning up to open mic with this, and people are saying, you can't play that, it's made from garbage, right? I remember sort of commenting at the time that if the neck didn't break on this one, within 6 months or something like that, that would be a miracle, and it was bound to bend. Well, I did pick him up today because it needs new strings. I mean, as you can tell, these are magic really. So I'm going to replace the strings. Did the neck bend? Yes, it did, ever so slightly. It's in the video where I was answering questions about whether or not I used truss rods. And basically that is the reason for not needing a truss rod in an instrument like this, is that it will bend, and you can see, because we did use plywood, right up there, it's kind of flared out a little bit. And that's where there's an ever such a small bend in the neck just there. And I find they do sort of bend from there to there. I put a gasket in there knowing it would probably do this, which is lifted slightly, but it's still going strong 6 months later. And there's the birth date on the back. It was the 1st of May this year. So I thought I'd just bring you that as a little novelty thing. Dave is still, or Dave II I should say, is still going strong. Yeah, you know, 1 or 2 actual guitar players said, I love that. I spoke to one guy and he was a lefty, but he had a right-handed guitar, strung right, and he literally just turned it upside down, a guy called John. And he just kept saying to me, I love that, that's what I like to see, guitars like that. So yeah, you know, it's kind of received a bit of fame and fortune, this one. And you can tell that's out of tune, and the strings have had it. And I've had a lot of fun with them. So I just thought I'd bring you that progress update on Dave. And with that, I'm going to kind of wrap it up here, because I've been at it all day. I must admit I'm pretty tired now. And I just wanted to bring you that very sort of unrehearsed and impromptu bits between the bits number 4. So if you've made it to the end, as always, listening to me waffling on, thanks ever so much. You know, thanks for supporting this channel. You know, it's our channel, it's not just mine. Thanks to the community. You know, if you just stop by to watch this video, if you make guitars yourself, if you're just curious, you're still part of this community because you're still contributing by watching the video and what have you. And you know, I do really appreciate that. So as always, folks, whatever you're doing, do stay safe. Whatever time of day it is for you, have a great day today or have a lovely evening. Stay blessed. And most important of all, keep building. Okay then, peeps. Bye for now. Bye. The Cigar Box guitar player.